Nadia here. And earlier today, I was answering some questions for members of our Convert Lab as they're working through their systems and getting everything in place. And one of my actual favorite questions that I got to answer today was just around increasing prices, but also a part of the underlying reason for that was annual raises for both the business owner and their team. And it just led me to think about, when was the last time you gave yourself a raise? Like, seriously, when you think about all the things that have been going on, as hard as you've been working in your business, many of us, and I say us, I throw myself in there definitely, could use some vacation, extended vacation time after the year that we've had. When was the last time you gave yourself a raise? And if it hasn't been recent, then my question to you is why? Why haven't you given yourself a raise? And there could be numerous reasons. So this is definitely not a video about judgment, but it is an invitation to start really thinking about your business, your role in your business, how you appreciate yourself and show that appreciation through your compensation and what that really looks like. Um, I remember for many years being in my business, I didn't pay myself at all. And honestly, the craziest thing is I honestly didn't think about it for a while. Like, it was just, I was just so focused on all the other things that I didn't even put myself in the business as someone who should be compensated for all that I brought to the business. So I wish I could say it was like this big, plan or strategy that, X, when I got to X or Y, that I would, or hit this major milestone and that would happen. Yeah, that's not at all how it worked. And it's probably one of the reasons why I bring it up a lot more often in my trainings and asking my clients, like, are you paying yourself? If not, what would you like to be paying yourself? And why aren't you paying yourself? And then if you are paying yourself, when was the last time you gave yourself a raise? um, it's important that we appreciate ourselves in our businesses and creating businesses that support our lifestyle and our goals. And even if your business today is not yet in position, that we start to think about it in the future. We start to do some future casting. We start to put some plans together. We start to do the numbers. So when you think about when was the last time I gave myself a raise? Like, I seriously had to ask myself this question. Nadia, when was the last time you gave yourself a raise? And it was like, why? Right? Hmm. And then it's like, okay, great. I now know why. Taking some time to identify why. Then it could be how. Dr. Nadia, how do I give myself a raise, or how do I pay myself? I would say take some time and do the numbers. You hear me say this a lot too, but it's important to look at the numbers, but put yourself into the equation. So reviewing your pricing and where you are client wise and what your goals are, and are there some shifts that you may need to make in order to accommodate and compensate you? Like, that is a fair question. And is there a way that even in your current, that you may not be able to give yourself the raise you desire right now, or the salary you desire, but can you start paying yourself something, or taking an owner's draw, or giving yourself a bonus, like setting milestones so that you can start to sow back into yourself and pay yourself and appreciate yourself. Also understand what are some of the habits that, like for myself, like I said, I didn't really think about it. I was like, okay, I got a business, everything, I have expenses, did not write myself in there as a line item, or investments. We have those too. I was nowhere there, right? So there's that whole situation around, okay, Nadia, why are you not a part of this? I got help, thankfully. But then also notice your habits. So, for example, using me as an example, for me, I once I realized that I needed to be a part of a part of this, duh. Um, I noticed that I wasn't consistent though. Like, I was still treating myself as optional, and I was not following it to the letter or on a consistent basis. So I may start paying myself, then I would stop because I was like, well, I could take my salary and invest it to do something else. There was always an excuse to not honor myself. Um, and I was like, you know what? I just got to a point where I was like, no, not only am I not going to continue to do that myself, but also I'm married, I have a husband, and I want to also honor him and agreements that we made and just really, honor that relationship as well. And so I called our accountant one day and I was like, look, I need you to put me on payroll. I myself am not doing a great job of this. So I need you to just make it real. And that helped with the consistency and having that support around okay, so also doing whatever it takes to make sure you honor those commitments. Cause I think sometimes as the owners and we see the vision and we just keep telling ourselves, I'll do it when, and we keep moving the milestone marker. And it's like, no, there's something that we need to do now in order for our businesses to not become this icky thing that we begin to resent because it's really hard to grow and love and appreciate something that you actually resent. Um, and you don't want to feel that for your business. So there are just some of the things that I wanted to share with you, and definitely just kind of plant that seed as we are shifting into the second half of the year around, just taking care of you. How is your business taking care of you? And if it's not necessarily a dollar amount per se, like there's so many different ways to compensate yourself. I will not even attempt to have that conversation. But even time wise, what would it be like to take off an extended period of time in your business and for your business to be able to function without you? What would that look like? And what would you have to do in order to make that or become a reality? One of the things, one of my accountability partners asked me recently that really, oh my gosh, it really just kind of it it planted a seed, right? And right now I'm just working through that process of watering it. So I was sharing with her just some things that I'm working on in my own business around really being focused on this particular offer that we have and how often I wanted to do it because I'm over here with my trusty calculator, but I'm operating with the calculator alone and almost kind of like a vacuum. Like I was just over here, my calculator, my notebook, my pen, just kind of doing some things, running some calculations, some different scenarios, so we can kind of get a grasp on, what that could look like, and was that plan I was kind of mulling over in my head, if that was feasible, right? That were even a feasible option. And so as I'm doing, I was like, not bad. And I shared this with her, and I was like, we did it once a quarter, and we got this many people, we could make this much amount of revenue. We do that. That's the kind of thing that we do, and I really get excited about that kind of stuff. Oh, I love it. But I failed to ask the question and she asked, and it was like, would you, would having you do that frequently, would that free you up and afford you the time freedom that you need in order to support your life outside of your work? Ouch. Right? Because I had a calculator and a pen and a notepad, but I didn't have my calendar. And it made me pause because it was like, yes, I could totally go with the plan. I could do that. But as we've been shifting and really looking at our values, particular me on this journey, and things that have been going on in my personal life, it was like, do I want to do that? Does that make sense in terms of the time freedom that I desire to spend with my family? Um, I haven't answered that question yet. That if I answer the question yes, then we proceed. If I answer the question no, then I have to go back to the drawing board. And so I share that to share with you. These are some of the questions that I encourage you to ask yourself. Does it support the time freedom that I desire? What does my time freedom even look like? Because I can tell you that my desired time freedom looks very different now in 2021 than it did 2 years ago, or definitely 3 years ago, um, before we became parents. And it's it's mind-boggling. And I'm just also kind of going through that process of, giving myself permission to be okay with changing my mind, right? My life looks very different than it did, we'll say 3 years ago. Um, And so I have the option and the opportunity to make a different choice. And I don't have to be mandated or restricted to the choices that I made 3 years ago before my life changed. I get to make a different choice, and I get to create something, a business that can support that choice. Will it happen overnight? Possibly not, but can I work towards that? Definitely. But it also requires a mindset shift, right? To start thinking about, oh, wait a second, I don't know that I want that. And so I invite you to spend some time journaling, taking some time to really think about, where are you not considering you in your business? Is it with your salary, your bonuses, your time off, your vacation? Does your business really support the vision that you set out to create when you started your business? The beautiful thing about being a CEO is we get to create all this stuff. We get to create this. And it's a wonderful thing, but if we're not careful, we can build something that's actually creating a prison for us, that it locks us into something, or we can build our own box, and it's not the what we desire, the picture that we desire to see or we desire to accomplish. And so I just invite you to do that, to take some time to think through it. And also, we have a masterclass series coming up really soon, where part of it is going to be, I'll be talking about courageous pricing. And in that, just as you start to think about how you price your programs and your services, to what are some of the things that you may not be considering and taking into account, and why high ticket may be a good option or not. But things that I would like to invite you to consider as you are determining your pricing. There is a method to the madness. We don't just pull these numbers out of the air. And so that's something we would love to invite you to join us for that masterclass series. It's actually a 3-part masterclass. I've broken it up into 3 parts to kind of make it a little bit more digestible. But click the link below to get registered. I would love to see your face in the class. We'll be doing it live. The recordings will be available for sale. So to attend live is free, and the replays are available for purchase. So this is Dr. Nadia, and with another episode of Straight Talk About Sales. When was the last time you gave yourself a raise? Like, I want you to really think about that. Spend some time doing the numbers, thinking about why, and definitely how. Like, those are my 2 questions: why and how, and when. If you can't do it right away, when? When can you make it happen? When can you make it a reality? And how can you make it an annual thing? I know when I was in corporate, I received annual raises and bonuses. And if I didn't, I was quitting. Like, that was it. You don't appreciate my talents and services here, I'm out. So yeah, that was Nadia. That was a hot mess. But are you honoring yourself in the same way in your business, right? And so again, when was the last time you gave yourself a raise? How are you going to do that? Why haven't you given yourself a raise? When are you going to give yourself a raise? And how can you make raises an annual part of your world and your reality? All right, this is Dr. Nadia signing off. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.